When's the last time you went into your food pantry and really took a good look around it? Well, if you can't remember the last time you went through and organized and did an inventory, then it's time to do it now. Everybody knows in today's economy and historically high inflation rates, food is along with everything else that is almost getting out of reach to afford. Now, there's countless articles and tutorials on the internet that you can find of people who have gone in depth on how to be prepared for when STHF happens, and you're like, this is great, I'm going to save these articles. Then you forget about it after time and get about everyday life. Wake up, people, because that stuff is happening now. As you all know, it's getting more and more tight and more expensive to try to make ends meet. And some of these people, a lot of people these days, are having to cut back on some of those great things that they like to enjoy and everything because they just don't have enough money to do that because they got other bills to pay. And when disasters are looking to happen and stuff such as bad weather, wars, all that other stuff, as soon as the media and the news tells people, the first thing that happens is the shelves get empty at the stores. And by the time that happens, it's too late. Long lines, high prices, and empty shelves. You got to get ready now. So today I want to share with you a few of the staple things that I make sure that I have in my emergency preparedness inside my pantry. I don't carry a lot of goods in my refrigerator because I know if the power goes off for extended periods of time, whether they have a generator or not, that stuff's all going to go bad. So I never stock more than I need in that refrigerator or I can't eat up within a couple days. Now, before we start, I do want to let you know that there is such thing as over stockpiling food. Not to mention the fact that you don't want to stockpile food for an emergency with a bunch of garbage that you're not going to eat. Now, most people, when they think of stable pantry foods, are canned goods. Not a bad thing to have, but remember, they only have a shelf life, usually up to 1 or 2 years. All right, so we're going to start with dried beans or lentils or even chickpeas. They're all great to stretch or replace meat in your meals. They're also very high in protein and high calorie density, which makes them an ideal pantry staple. Flour and sugar, and in fact sometimes honey and other sweeteners, are some of the first items to disappear off the shelves during an emergency. They are perfect pantry staples. Salt is often an underlooked product, but it's a natural preservative and an important ingredient in baking and cooking. Baking soda has tons of uses, from cleaning and sanitizing to baking, and all kinds of uncountable uses. And it's so inexpensive and easy to store in your food storage. Shelf-stable fats such as oils, olive oils, coconut oils, avocado oils, any kind of oils. They're all good for cooking and baking, and most of these are shelf-stable for a long time. Rice and pasta. This is a situation where you should buy only what you're going to eat. Okay, but these foods are high caloric foods, which makes good in case of an emergency. Different types of broth, whatever flavor floats your boat. They have a lot of storage value to them. If you prefer to get the box kind that is in a liquid form, they will stay good for a long time until you end up opening them. At that time, you're going to have to use it up without refrigeration. I prefer to have the bouillon cubes. This way it works perfect if you're making a meal and you need that flavoring, or even if you want to have a hot cup of broth. Different types of sweeteners such as syrups, brown sugar, honey, these sorts of things that go a long ways, and they can substitute for regular sugar. Rolled oats. Yes, when was the last time you saw some rolled oats? They can be used for lots of healthy breakfast or snack options, and they last a long time. Apple cider vinegar. A lot of people overlook this. I'll tell you what, this can be used for so many different things, especially health purposes and healing problems with your digestion and your stomach, not to mention cleaning vegetables and cooking, and possibly putting them into canning jars to preserve foods. Without a doubt, make sure that you are up with your spices. These things will last a long time, perfect complement to all your needs when it comes to eating and your taste preferences, as well as they will last even longer if the lids are kept on properly, and you could actually add grains of rice like you do when you put into a salt shaker. All right, last but not least on my list of things that I keep in my pantry for in a pinch are sustainable snacks. Snacks that aren't going to go bad, like granola, peanuts, popcorn, stuff like that. Remember, don't buy a bunch of stuff you're not going to eat. If it doesn't sound or taste good to you, don't waste the money and the time. But sustainable snacks are very, very important to have after you've had a meal and you want to have something to eat before your next meal. Wow, now that's a whole lot of options to work with, and there's nothing on this table for me myself, and that's what I'm worried about. I wouldn't eat in a heartbeat. Of course, now you're talking about a disaster or something where you don't have power. Either you're going to need a generator or something like I have, which I have a camp cooking stove that is propane operated, and I'm stockpiled on that stuff, so I can cook anything that you see on this table and enjoy a delicious meal anytime in a pinch. So there you have it. There's a list, comprehensive, of the items that I like to keep in my pantry. Now your list could vary a lot. I left out a lot of things such as beef jerky, canning foods, anything that works for you. But remember these simple rules. Never overshop. Never buy something that you're not going to eat. Don't be afraid to eat these items to make sure that they don't go bad. Once you do deplete one of the items, the next time you're at a store, replenish it, such as a bag of flour or some oil and stuff like that. Because like I said in the beginning, the first things that's going to happen in a disaster is these shelves are going to get cleaned out. And by the time you make it there to get supplies, it's going to be too late. Like you heard me say in the beginning of the video, when was the last time you really went in depth inside of your food pantry? And if it's been that long, it's about time for you to start doing that. And get rid of all that garbage that's sitting in the back that's been sitting there since who knows how long. Chuck it out and start replenishing it with the things that are ready for right now. Make sure to rotate that stock. You didn't see me mention a lot of canned goods. I got tons of them, but those get eaten on a regular basis, such as soups, such as beans, and all that other good stuff. But in a pinch, these are items that I'm showing you that will long last any canned good on the market. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching. Listen, this is not about getting freaked out and oh my God, the world's ending today. It's about making sure that you're aware of what you have, what you need before the time is too late. And this way you can make sure you and your family are ready in that time of need. Got any comments or questions, leave them for me, and I'll see you next time on The Outpost.